You want to share your screen?
Oh, I thought I was sharing it.
I think it's down now. I don't see
All
it.
right, let me share it again. We're just, we're getting there.
We're getting back into it.
There you go.
There it is. Oh, so those of you who are joining us, thank you very much. We're going to give it a few moments before we get started. Typically, we'd be playing music because we like to have fun, but we've been instructed that we can't play music anymore because of all the copyright garbage that everybody deals with. We never got in any trouble, but we were just advised not to do it anymore. So you're going to deal with me and Elizabeth's, comic relief in the meantime. So
Ben, you should tell them that you used to sing in your high school choir, or what was it?
yeah, I was in show choir back in the day, a little singing,
Yeah.
a little dancing. It was
Yeah.
great. I think that's why I'm a bit of an entertainer these days.
Yeah, I was in drama. So I think it were like I was
Very, very dramatic.
very dramatic. Very dramatic.
We'll give it another minute before we get started. See a lot of great familiar names on here, a few other additional ones as well.
Yeah, tell us where you're calling in from. Use the chat or
Use the
the
Q&A
chat
feature if
feature.
you want to tell us where you're calling in from. That'd be awesome. We got Ben Balsog here from New Orleans, Louisiana, the Big Easy, baby. Bernberg,
Elizabeth Sternberg calling in from Denver, Colorado. I'm actually in the suburbs. I'm in Inglewood Tech Center, for those of you familiar.
Mile High to below sea level on this
That's
side.
right.
I see Chris in La Crosse. I see Alan in Denver as well. Hang on here. Do we have some folks up north joining us? I think we got a good friend Todd joining us from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada.
I think so.
I do see that.
There he is. Yeah, highlight for AdCellerant before we hop into all the fun stuff for today's topic. You guys, we are expanding. It's so incredibly exciting. Just the amazing momentum that's really fueled by local markets and local media organizations and agencies. And we are now in Canada and we are expanding into the UK. So I tell you what, it's just an exciting time to be a part of this team and love the conversations that we're having with prospects from different countries. But we also have a new team member who is also in Canada, and he's joining on the webinar somewhere today. You're virtually here, Todd. So high five.
And we got a handful of members there, and we're going to get started here in just a minute. Before we do, I see Kim's calling in from Little Falls, Minnesota, Cherise from Louisville, Kentucky, and the anonymous attendee from Central Valley, California. Anonymous, that's fun. But let's go ahead and get started. I am thrilled to be back. It has been a hot minute since I've been on a webinar with y'all. Elizabeth, thanks a lot for having me back. Um,
Absolutely.
we're excited to talk today, you guys. You get the old Ben and Elizabeth rigmarole here. Steve's calling in from Clearwater. Thanks for joining us today, Steve. And Lydia in Kennewick, Washington. I'm just going to keep calling those out if they keep coming in. But today we're talking about how to be a better sales and marketing consultant. And it's not just about being a salesperson, it's not just about being a consultant, it's about being a doctor. When we're talking to businesses and we're following through on, making sure that we're addressing their problems, their needs, their wishes, their wants, their concerns, their pain points, or their symptoms in particular, we got to be a doctor at some points in our lives, right? Fortunately, I'm not a, real doctor, but I may have gone to school for more than 7 years. So, I'll take that credit where credit's due in some sense of it. But we also want to talk about MEDDIC as well. I don't know if any of you have read the MEDDIC book. It's a very short book. We highly recommend it. It's going to talk a little bit about what are the things that go into providing that diagnosis, how to create a real plan around what your sales strategy is with each of your customers. So you're diagnosing, you're prescribing, and then elevating yourself with that confidence so you can get them to come back when they're ready for next year's physical. And then we'll talk about some of the resources that you have and go through some Q&A as well. My name is Ben Balsog. I am our Vice President of Business Development. Stoked to be here, excited to be here, and joined by the lovely Elizabeth Bernberg. Thank you, E.
Mhm.
Me and Elizabeth, while we may not be real doctors, we do have a lot of fun being able to diagnose and prescribe solutions in different ways. For those of you who don't know, our clinic is called AdCellerant. We are an urgent care and a very good one at that. But we're a technology and digital advertising services company, and our goal is to make the complexity of digital simple. We do this through our proprietary software, award-winning customer service. Our team of people are absolutely phenomenal. Expert education, exceptional operational support, and our prescriptions are off the heezy. As we continue on a little bit about AdCellerant, we are US based, Denver based. We have a handful of teammates up in Canada now. We actually are expanding a little bit further out as well. So we are in North America for the time being. We have proprietary software, been growing really fast, really proud of that. Have almost 200 people on the team today, I think a little bit more. And we are actually in over 500 cities around the world. Now I need to update my deck, which is totally cool. Um, Part of what we're going to be talking about today is, the team. I love to put them up on a pedestal real quick and talk about how you guys get to not just get a login and a password to a platform of great technology, but a team of people that can help you through sales enablement, through helping you be a better sales consultant, a better medic or doctor yourself. So a couple of cool things there. AdCellerant is a full stack digital agency solution. Everything that you need in a single user interface, a single login, a single point of contact, and this allows you to support your customers holistically through a full suite of different capabilities, whether it's targeted display, creepy geofencing, interesting video, fun social media, important paid search, or mandatory SEO. I just like throwing adjectives on the beginning of all those things. We can really do it all, and we're very flexible, very agile to provide all those things. And we tie it all into one spot where you can sell it, you can execute, fulfill it, and get the reporting with a single point of contact, which is what Elizabeth's here for. And Elizabeth, why are we here? Let's keep talking about the MEDDIC stuff.
Absolutely. And just like you, it's been a minute since we've done these webinars. So I'm like, shoot, I need to like brush up a little bit, make sure make sure I'm on point. Hopefully not totally out of practice. You all, we definitely want to make sure this is as conversational as possible. So please continue to ask any and all questions in the chat feature in your Q&A feature on Zoom. And Ben and I'll stop real time. We'd love to, engage with those questions as they come up. We, of course, are recording this. We will be sending you the deck as well as a link to the recording. And side note, follow us. Like if you are not following AdCellerant on LinkedIn or any of the social media channels, or Ben or myself or any of our team members, shoot, please do that. We're always up to something, trying something new, launching something, revisiting old conversations and trying to figure out, what's next in the digital space. So absolutely continue to follow us on those channels. Okay, enough about that.
Real quick, I'm actually going to make a little incentive for those of
Good.
us who follow us right now. Before the end of the hour, I will pick a winner of a new follower of AdCellerant on LinkedIn. Go to it. I'll see who's following us by the end of the hour, and I'll send a $20 Amazon gift card to a random person.
Uh, Maybe anonymous will get it.
Maybe anonymous. Hey, I'll have to see them if they are anonymous.
Yeah, you never know. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Okay, love that. All right. Why are we here? We are talking about diagnosing and prescribing and MEDDIC, right? That sales framework that probably a lot of y'all have heard about at some point in time. That's actually going to be kind of a part of our core conversation today. And really, we're going to bridge it into how AdCellerant supports our partners and how we actually kind of tap into the same methodology through our support, through our tactics, through the reporting. But this really, no matter where you are in your, in terms of a role within your organization or what kind of media organization, shoot, this could be an agency or maybe you're an association, MEDDIC can absolutely apply to your own framework. So what is this? And another wonderful acronym, right? MEDDIC is a sales qualification framework used to improve win rates. Used to improve win rates. So think about that right there. By ensuring that reps deeply understand a prospect's needs, buying process, and decision criteria. So when you think of this, like what immediately comes to mind? For me, it's like the client needs analysis, right? It's discovery, it's questions. So when we think about this lovely acronym, what each of these letters stand for, let's dive into it a little deeper, all right? M is for metrics. Especially in digital, we live and die by metrics. Talk about the prescription that tells us if we're seeing the end of the tunnel and we're on the right road. But what measurable results is the client trying to achieve,
And
right?
And those are things like success metrics, right? Every client you go to, I want my business to grow. I want my cash register to ring, obviously, right? Those are macro success metrics. Let's dig into and find what those micro success metrics are that lead into the macro success metrics. So metrics is really important there as well. Let's go a little back and forth. We didn't plan for
I like
this
it.
webinar very well. We're just going to hit it and have some fun with it. E is for economic buyer. Who controls the budget and signs the deal? A lot of times you guys are talking to marketing directors and people who are in charge of marketing, but there's El Jefe that has to sign the doc at the end of the day and write the checks. Find out who that economic buyer is, who
Yeah,
is making the ultimate decision, right?
exactly. And then, who the influencers are as well, right? Because decision maker, while yes, they're going to John Hancock, a document or a media plan, they're going to be inspired by people internally, those influencers who are going to be, really leveraging the tools or really gleaning insights from the campaign that's running. So those influencers are incredibly important. Decision.
Elizabeth, real
Oh,
quick, I'm
yeah.
pretty sure everybody knows it's Herbie Hancock.
What did I say, John?
No, it is John. I'm just
Oh, I was like, don't. You know me.
from
And
Tommy Boy. So who's that economic buyer? Who's those influencers? Let's next find out your decision criteria. What are the factors the client uses to evaluate those solutions? Think about that criteria. Is it going to be price? Is it quality? Is it inventory? Is it customer service? Are they looking for something in particular, a specific product that you can offer that someone else cannot offer? Ask all those questions. One of the things you could ask, what keeps you up at night? What do you see that works or doesn't work, and how can we help you do it better, right? And then the decision process, timelines. Who do they have to talk to? Who's going to be involved? How do they analyze their criteria? What does that process entail? How long does it take? And what are you going to do in order to make sure you advance to each round of those different decisions being made? And then finally, where you pull in your doctor, you get rid of Nurse Ben over here. Elizabeth, what are we doing?
that's right. You call in the MD. Just kidding. Um, you identify the pain point, right? What's the core problem? What are they doing right now in terms of trying to find a solution, right? What are there any new challenges? This is something that's kind of maybe cyclical, right? So understanding a little bit more about current pain and even potential future pain, right? Let's think ahead. Let's not just time box the conversation for just what's happening right now. We need to make sure as consultants, we're always talking about the future and creating a sustainable future and model for our clients. And then the champion. We are the champions. There's their songs.
Hands.
There
Yeah,
you go.
again, those are
Uh,
influencers, right? Those champions, those people really to help bring it home. And what's great about a champion is that you tend to be able to keep those for long, long periods of time. Even if they leave a current role and move to a new company or new role, make sure you stick close to those people. You guys will be able to continue to do those things and find those folks. So why is MEDDIC an important framework in digital sales? And honestly, it's important in any kind of
anything.
sales role. right? It's going to uncover the real business problems. It's going to help you improve your proposal quality. It's going to reduce the amount of wasted time. And I know we all do it. We all waste too much time on silly stuff sometimes, but it's going to help reduce it. You're going to build a stronger client relationship. They're going to really feel like you understand them and understand what their goals and objectives are. And it may not just be shedding a few LBs, but add a few zeros to their bottom line as well, right? And then finally, you're driving higher close rates and retention rates. MEDDIC isn't just for the business development phase, driving net new business. MEDDIC can be used for every conversation that you have. Maybe we're adding on a new campaign, a new prerogative, the grand opening of a new store, they're expanding business here, or we just opened up a new branch and we need to do stuff here. Or maybe we're just checking in to see how everything's going right now. Are we making sure that we're identifying each and every single potential opportunity, issue, pain points, and creating that solution and diagnosing and prescribing appropriately?
And what does, we're saying diagnosis and prescription and, all of that together in under the lens of MEDDIC. What does that end up doing? That builds trust. That continues to solidify amazing trust between you and the client. And the client starts seeing the reps as true partners, not vendors. This also, of course, is going to be supporting your long-term business efforts when we think about renewals, upsells, the whole 9 yards. All right, so we know MEDDIC is incredibly important, but woe is me. This is your client, right? This is when you are in that meeting, you've bebopped over to their office, you're having that conversation, and it's not bebop the hamburger joint. No, Ben. You've gone into their place of business, and they've put up their guard, right? They are just telling you, business, we've got slow sales. I'm stressing out about our revenue right now, the economy. Man, there's so much unknown out there. We just don't know how that's going to impact our sales and what's happening here in the local marketplace. Slow sales. We're seeing some slow sales. Underperforming digital ads, and they might throw this one out to you saying it's just not working. We're just not seeing the kind of ROI or ROAS that we need to see from our digital marketing. It's just not doing that. Maybe it's a low click-through rate, right? Maybe there's not a lot of good attribution results, and maybe reporting is an issue there. But they're coming to you saying it's just not working. Low online visibility. So they're thinking here, nobody sees us online. When we're, looking for products and services, where do people go? What do people do, Ben? They go to Google. They Google that stuff and they're going, shoot, people don't even know that I'm offering these products and services. We don't have that visibility. I've got a great storefront. I've got great physical visibility, people driving by my point of location, but online that visibility is just not that great. So why do I need to be really focusing on digital solutions, right? So who has heard these three kind of woe is me moments, right? Totally. And you can see at the bottom, these are the symptoms that correlate to each and every one of them. And we talked a little about them as well. Well, we're going to round out this webinar today in addressing solutions for each and every one of these woe is me moments by using MEDDIC and tying it into the value and capabilities that AdCellerant provides.
It's weird. I see Christina. I just clicked out of it quick. Sorry, but she agrees. She's heard all this stuff over and over, and these aren't the only things that we're hearing, you guys. Like these are constant objections, but it's about diving deeper. What's leading to the slower sales? What's leading to that, underperformance? Why do you see underperformance? Why do you think it's underperforming? Doctors don't just sit here and come in and ask you the question once and say, "Oh, this is what we're going to do." They ask a little bit further. Why does, if you turn this way, does it hurt? Or breathe into my, take a couple deep breaths here, or, turn your head and cough. Like they got to figure out exactly what's going on there, right? So this is why we're here. It's about using MEDDIC. It's about using smarter ways to diagnose. So the sellers and consultants, when you're doing this, you guys, you're acting as those trusted advisors. They're not just product pushers, and you're going to win more business. So you're going to get a bunch of key benefits. You're going to continue to build trust, drive revenue. Oh my gosh, talk about a prescription right there, right? Improving efficiencies, not just for your customers, but for yourselves as well. And it will help you stand out.
I want to just highlight real quick the bottom two, improving efficiency. Time is money, right? Time is money for you, for your sellers, for your team members, and for your clients, right? The more efficient we can be with collecting the right information, putting together that prescription and the right solution for the client, presenting it to them, and getting the motions in place to achieve the client's goals and objectives, that's just going to, again, double down on the amazing trust you're creating with your clients and create a better business relationship with them, right? And you are going to get just all the love, all the TLC from those advertisers for making their lives easier and more efficient, right? Let's not be wasting time. That's a huge one. And then standing out, we've said this a zillion times over. We cannot be order takers. Long gone are the days of transactional sales and coming in with the fire sale. And woo, you need this event. And woo, I've got this spot schedule. You got to be doing this. No way. That is long gone. Goodbye. See you later. Au revoir. We've got to make sure that we are taking the time to dive in, to tap into MEDDIC, right? To tap into each of those particular letters, identify those pain points, come with solutions in mind, and be ready to solve the advertiser's problems, because that creates a huge difference for you, for your organization, for your seller. That becomes a differentiator as well, right? You're not just saying, hey, I need, what do you got for me today? You are truly taking on a standout position to be a business partner as opposed to a transactional vendor.
I was training some sales reps last week specifically, and they're like, "Oh, we want to put this in the rate card so we can leave it with our clients." Stop leaving rate cards. It's like putting a menu in front of someone and say, "Pick what you want." Right? You should be prescribing. You should be picking their entire dinner. You should be taking them on an adventure. You should be saying, these are the things that are going to solve your problems. Business owners, they spend sometimes 6, 7 days a week running their businesses. They're not going to be marketing and digital experts. That is you. You need to be able to prescribe those things. So, as we continue to apply the MEDDIC portion to digital media, let's look at the framework. Let's dig into this a little bit further. So metrics, identifying the measurable goals the business wants to achieve through advertising. Do we want more form fills? Do we want more phone calls? Do we want foot traffic? What's going to lead to the cash register ringing? Do we want more people looking at a certain white paper or blog, or do we want them to come to our event? Understand exactly what those are, and then let's talk about how they can achieve those things.
And you know what? It also helps align campaign KPIs. When you're able to understand these metrics, what they want to achieve, foot traffic, leads, everything that Ben was just saying, as a seller, and even ideally with the right partner that you're working with on the back end to help you fulfill and execute, that then should get you thinking about the KPIs tied to those particular solutions. Are we going to be looking at click-through rate? If we want to maximize website exposure, right, and get a lot more people visiting the website, do we need to look at cost per click? Do we need to make more of a cost-effective low funnel strategy? Are we focusing on conversions, right? So that really helps align client expectations, of course, when we understand what their metrics and what they're trying to achieve with these marketing dollars, and then how we're going to partner it up with the right digital solutions. All right, economic buyer, the buyer, the person that is going to be saying yes, paying the bills, pinpoint the person who controls the budget and can say yes. So we have to first and foremost always make sure we are talking to the decision maker. I feel confident that almost every single person on this call, including myself and Ben, we've been in multiple conversations where we think we're talking to the decision maker, but man, no, it's got to go through a whole other veil of approvals or a whole other process that we didn't even know about. So it's going to be super important to make sure that we ask that open and direct question. Are you the person making the final decision on this strategy and on this recommendation today? Decision criteria. Understand what factors influence the client's purchasing decision. So, are they trying to find local reach, right? Are they really focusing on branding? Or, of course, that ROI? Again, is lead generation something that's going to be super important to them? What is in their mind in terms of getting them to say yes? It is our job as sellers to kind of pull that out from them. You know what I do with a lot of my pitches and demos? I ask my prospects, tell me three things that are most important to you right now in terms of the right digital partner that's going to help you achieve your goals and objectives from a digital standpoint. Give me three core pillars. And that absolutely can kind of create that immediate pinpoint into their criteria based on what they're trying to do with those three pillars. So that's a little Bernberg nugget for you, but man, it super is helpful.
We had a great question from Jen. Jen asks, is this going to help with the right digital solutions for specific industries? For instance,
Absolutely.
restaurants versus jewelry stores, or banks versus HVAC, or roofing versus insurance. Absolutely. It doesn't matter what industry this is. I mean, you could be going after people selling software and technology, or someone who's offering IT services, or phone services, or internet services, or new roof, or someone selling a cheeseburger. You can help with all of those things. So you can think about how you can put yourself in that position when you're talking to any one of those clients that you have, regardless of vertical. This is not discriminatory towards any vertical and will actually help uncover even more for all of them. Good
And
question.
I put in oh yeah, great question. And I apologize, y'all. I put decision criteria twice here on this deck, so shame on me, but just doubling down on how important it is, right? All right. So decision process, clarifying the steps and timeline required to move forward. This is actually not only important, of course, in the conversation with your client, this is super important to your own business, to your pipeline, right? As a sales rep, supporting your station or newspaper, magazine, agency, this helps give you an understanding of where you need to potentially place this deal in your pipeline, right? Is this month? Is it this quarter? That also really helps anticipate forecasting for revenue, right? So this is an incredibly important question, obviously understanding their whole process and timeline, but it's going to help you from a business standpoint really put together the appropriate pipeline and forecasting structures for all internal conversations about the business.
You guys, it's always good saying this out loud, just so that we're all on the same page. Like, we can get the answers once, they can change. But if you at least understand where you're at and then things do change, it's okay to say, hey, before our understanding was this and now it's this. Is that where we should be going, or is it back to what we originally thought and understood before? That's okay. Things can change. The world is imperfect. We're imperfect. I mean, you got to figure these things out. And these pains can change as well. You could be in the
Totally.
middle of conversations and meetings, and a pain changes just because tariffs hit you, or maybe there's just this economic uncertainty, or maybe there's a catastrophic like natural disaster. I live in New Orleans. Hurricanes happen all the time. Roofing companies act a little bit differently when it's not hurricane season versus when it is hurricane season, right? So get to the root, not the roof, the root of the business's core challenge or ailment, right? Keep figuring those out, and understand if those things are changing, especially on seasonalities. The more you can do that, it's just the better you're going to be able to apply that solution to it. And finally, back to the champions. Bring them up. We go through these things multiple times because we gotta drill it in. Again, I would recommend you guys read the book. It's maybe $10 on Amazon, and it's very short read, but it's high impact. These are things that we actually run throughout our entire team as well.
Champion, just a note of referencing Queen, we are the champions. Yes. I think it's super important to note that finding that champion and really building rapport with that person, that's going to also really accelerate the deal momentum, right? So when we think about that process and the timeline, that internal influencer, that champion can also really work on your behalf, right? To help get things moving faster and a little bit more efficiently as well, because they're chomping at the bit, ready to get going. And that internal buy-in is so huge and can create the amazing and good viral aspect of, something really exciting, and they can get other team members involved, sooner than later. So again, don't minimize the importance of that champion, and continue to go back to them even post sale. They can be great for referrals for other business, that you're, working towards, or trying to open up new business opportunities with advertisers. This is a fantastic way to actually do that. All right. Diagnosis and prescription. We should have had like an RX thing here.
Oh, geez, it's time to cure those ailments. We were talking about what those were before we were diagnosing you guys. Slow sales. Well, let's think about that prescription. And again, we got to break it down a little bit further. Do they need that foot traffic or just local traffic? Something like geofencing, social media campaigns, or even local SEO to drive some local traffic there could be a great solution for them. If they're trying to capture more high intent customers ready to make a purchase, SEM or PPC would be a great solution there. Or also, they're trying to make better targeting decisions or better business decisions based on what their competition looks like or anything else like that. Audience insight reports, things that our device ID technologies offer on location-based data. And those audience insight reports are super creepy too. So there's a couple of prescriptions for the slow sales. How do we address underperforming digital ads? E, what would you prescribe?
I would first say, let's take a good long look at everything in your marketing, toolbox, and let's start with creative. Are we using the same imagery like over and over and over again? Are we using the same call to action? Is it the same, same 30% off deal that you've been running forever, Mr. Advertiser? We need to be changing things up. We need to look at it with fresh eyes. And that's obviously where y'all come in from a seller standpoint and a management standpoint. Give them new perspective. Also bring in, maybe some best practices, what's happening with other like advertisers in the marketplace, but creative refresh and even testing, A/B testing. Let's figure out what's going to resonate, right? And maybe we need to change up our creative based on the audiences that we're targeting as well, right? People want to see a message that's tailored to them and speaks directly to them, not some broad stroke, message that really is not going to be meaningful. Remember, we want to have that unique kind of one-on-one conversation, if possible, even through a digital ad. It needs to speak to me. Multi-channel strategy to improve reach. Um, is your client just running digital display ads, targeted banners? What do we say, Ben? What do we say about a one single approach in terms of a platform? There's no silver bullet.
Mm-mm.
There is zero silver bullets in all media. No silver bullet. Even with digital, you cannot just run digital targeted banners or a video campaign or a geofencing campaign or even just a search engine marketing campaign and expect all the results that you are wanting to achieve. It doesn't work that way. We've got to make sure that we're looking at multiple levels throughout that sales funnel and that we're optimizing based on where we are seeing that engagement, where we're seeing the traction. But we have to have a multitude of tactics running simultaneously because we as humans are fickle, man, and we've got a short attention span. We are off onto one thing and onto another. Multi-channel strategy, super important. And then conversion tracking. This is, I mean, it sounds so simple and it should be a no-brainer, but I tell you what, so many times when Ben and I are talking to either local advertisers or even prospective new partners, they're going, yeah, we're not tracking that. So you're not tracking the actual benefit of digital marketing and what it actually can create I know, right? In terms of converting paid marketing dollars into profit on the advertiser side boggles my mind. Ben.
I have to say something real quick. We have some folks that we do training constantly, right? There's too many people out there still that sell on just like impressions and clicks and CTRs, vanity metrics, right? It sounds like something great for 2005, 2010. Let's get beyond the click. How does how do these metrics actually produce money for our business?
Mhm.
The conversion is talking about what happens beyond the click. And one other one that I like to talk about is how we can track post impression or view through conversions, meaning they saw the ad, did not click on it, but then still made it to the website so that that the ad resonated enough to get them to your website, just not through one of the clicks on those ads. Isn't that the best story of success to tell? And especially for those people who sell traditional media like print and TV and radio, isn't that
Yep.
exactly what you do today without the actual conversion tracking? That is an amazing story of success to tell. Boom. And
Boom.
lastly, ooh, doctor says I need a bacchiotomy. Low online visibility. How do we prescribe to that one?
First and foremost, you're going to use one of my favorite tactics and capabilities. And man, if you are not bundling this with your solutions right now, you need to add it immediately. SEO, search engine optimization. And it sounds so much more terrifying than what it is, especially when you have the right partner to take on all that heavy lifting. Little key plug right there. But SEO packages are a no-brainer. That is really supporting the clients build equity in their website, right? As well as with their offsite local business profile, their Google business profile. Search engine marketing is good, is important, but I always refer to that as like renting space. That's you're paying rent, right? You don't really own that. It's not supporting you and your financial goals long term. Search engine optimization does do that, right? And in Google's eyes, an incredibly important asset for you long term for the client, long term.
Seriously. And I grew up, my dad would always talk about sweat equity, meaning you put hard
Love
work
it.
in this to build the equity yourself instead of, paying somebody else to do it. That's what SEO is. It's building that foundation for you. It helps to drive your visibility for anybody searching for your products or services and is also probably one of the most, if not the most important thing right now, especially in the age of AI. Because where does AI get all of its information from? The internet.
The
And if
internet.
we're not showing up on the internet appropriately, AI is not going to be able to, gather the right information. They're not going to be able to make the recommendation to go to your business versus somebody else's business. And so you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're just missing the mark entirely there. Those of you who are on the call today, if you're not an AdCellerant partner, I would encourage you to reach out to us and we can run I'm throwing it out there again, I'm just throwing incentives, complimentary SEO audit. Totally free, give it to you for free. We'll present it to you, talk about how we can help you win it with your client, or if it's for your business, let's talk about it. We can work with you and some of our partners as well. And let's figure out how we can help build that digital footprint and really improve the rankings that you guys are showing up as on those search engine results pages. And then bullet number two, the Google business profile. That's your local SEO,
Yep.
right? If you can tell your client we got this many phone calls, this many website visits, this many people that click to get directions to your business, or this many people click to see the menu. I mean, what a great story of success is to tell there.
Winning. And guess what? I'm going to add another little tidbit, Bernberg nugget here. This is such an amazingly beautiful complementary solution to your core assets. When someone
Mm.
looks at a print ad and they see something an offer, what do they do afterwards? They go to Google, they search. When they hear the broadcast, whether it's radio or television, what is their next action? They're going to go to Google, they're going to search, they're going to go to that website, right? It's a beautiful marriage between SEO and your core assets that 100% supports removing that. Oh, we have low online visibility. Let me help you. Let me help you change that, right? And let's help you get some great visibility with SEO.
Also, I'm going to go ahead and throw our SEO team up on a pedestal real quick, call them out. Shout out Trevor, Sam, Lisa, everybody. 98% retention rate. Talk about long-term compounding revenue for you and all of your customers. Hit us up. We can tell you more about how to use our team over there. They're absolutely phenomenal.
They're amazing.
And
They're
let's,
amazing.
so E, we're feeling better.
Feeling better.
My pain point's been worked out. My back's feeling a little bit better. We got to elevate our sales confidence with some strategy now, right? How the heck does AdCellerant help our partners think like marketers?
Well, it starts with, the people support, right? First and foremost, it is our team always working with our partners and their team. This is still a people first business, a people first industry. Yes, we're in the tech space. Man, I love talking to people a lot more than I do a chat bot. That is going to be the biggest way, first and foremost, from a training standpoint, that AdCellerant really brings to the table is that people power and support and that conversation to help your team really think above and beyond just those transactional questions or get the immediate sale. Let's think long term. Let's think bigger picture. Let's ask the tougher questions. So we want to make sure, again, we're not just pitching products, right? We're looking at the holistic business strategy, onboarding, our coaching, live strategy sessions. Again, our team, like, and I'm a former partner, y'all. I am a former AdCellerant partner, and it was a game changer to my sales team when I was a broadcaster, when we partnered with AdCellerant. The dedication, the just intellect too, these smart, amazing people that are bringing their own experiences to the table from their, past lives at agencies or newspapers themselves or broadcasts or Google, working directly for Google or Facebook. That is so amazingly just invaluable, right? It just was a wealth of knowledge, again, helping us understand how we can address metrics with our clients, how we can address pain points, and then how we can really figure out that decision criteria, follow that MEDDIC framework to continue to build that momentum behind our sales process, right? Again, always going back to the people, right?
And real
And
quick, I know
yeah,
there's a lot of people that help this stuff out, but we are making incredible investments and moves in our technology, you guys. Stay tuned, stay close, make sure you connect with us directly and we can share a little bit more about it, but get excited. We have some major things coming down in not next year, not by Christmas, but very, very soon. So get excited about that.
I love it. Last thing here too, confidence grows when reps understand the why behind a recommendation. Why are we doing this? Why are these solutions going to move the needle for our client? Again, that's where AdCellerant comes into play. From building out strategies, brainstorming, tapping into our own business intelligence, as I mentioned earlier, putting best practices together to help your sellers just be that much more dangerous out on the streets when they're talking about digital, but also building up their confidence.
Ooh,
Pre-sales tool, Ben, this is like your fave.
I love a good pre-sales tool. It's one of my favorite things is just finding tools that help me break the seal on different prospects and things like that. Leaning into things like audience insight reports so you can actualize the profile of the audience who's actually showing up at certain locations. Or leaning into some really crazy and creepy tools like your Kantar, Pathmatics, SRDS Simons to identify the best and most viable target audience, or seeing what your competitors are spending in both online and offline media, and building out a data-driven approach to help know the journey before we even start it. We don't have to guess the journey. A lot of times people will start campaigns. They'll say, "Hey, this is, we think that we should be hitting these audiences because that's your target audience who you should be getting in front of, and these are the tactics that we should be running." But maybe there's better ways to exploit your competition to poke holes in their strategy and make sure that you can land and expand in other ways. So it's not, again, it's not just about being transactional. It's about being strategic, and that data-driven approach will help you be a little bit more, focused on capturing those whales. We're talking Moby Dick style here, you guys. We want to go after the big ones too. So make sure that you lean into us to get some of those things. Oh, even better. Perfect segue. Oh my gosh, it's like we built this deck to like follow our talk tracks. That's wild. Supporting our partners with dedicated proposal building. Oh my gosh. I know there's a lot of reps out there that love a good, media planner tool, but guess what? There's a lot of other ones that are like, screw it, just build it for me, tell them we need pitch, and we'll make it happen. We can do that for you guys. And by the way, not only do you have the ability to white label our entire ecosystem, you can white label our people too. If you need to throw Elizabeth on a sales call to actually close a deal, or if you need to throw Ben on a sales call to come drop a couple good jokes for you, I'd be happy to do that for you. So us up. Let us talk about and build that strategy. We're here to train. We're here to coach. We're here to set expectations. We're here to renew your business, upsell your business, drive new business. Make sure you're focused on metrics of success. And you're going to get great people that say things like, I feel equipped to guide the client beyond the sale.
That's pretty powerful. Like that's pretty awesome. And then shoot, wrap it up, put a bow on it, right? Cherry on top. Technology, streamlined process, efficiency, consolidation, removing any sort of operational drag that might exist today, removing the swivel chair. I don't know if y'all can see my chair. I'm moving it around right now. Getting rid of all of that, getting rid of the mundane things that are potentially in your current workflow processes so you can be efficient, so you can grow pipeline, recognize that revenue, and continue to help your local advertisers. That's exactly what we do.
This technology portion is incredible, you guys. Like, this is what you need to drive those day-to-day efficiencies, to shave minutes off of the tasks that you do many times a day, every single day, to literally give yourself days back every single month, to give yourself weeks back every single year, to move faster, to create more transparency, to automate some of your processes. Oh my gosh. If you have not gotten a full demo of the AdCellerant platform called UI.marketing, please let us know. We'd love to give you a quick overview of it. And again, get excited. There are things to come in the very near future that are going to help you guys just continue to reduce friction, improve execution, fun adjective, and another cool buzzword, all the fun things there.
One other fun thing I want to highlight, y'all, we launched our wide orbit integration. Wide orbit. So broadcasters, if you're using wide orbit as your order management system and putting orders in and then having to reconcile your digital orders that, maybe they're going through us, maybe through somebody else, and month end can be like pulling out your hair. Keep your hair, keep your sanity, connect with us, and we will support you with that wide orbit integration. But incredibly exciting on just how we're continuing to progress in ways to support local media and how you guys, are working your business. We also have, of course, GAM integration as well for your owned and operated assets. So everything is going under one umbrella from a reporting standpoint. Even in the proposal tool, you are sharing with your clients one holistic strategy that includes your owned and operated assets in addition to all of these extension solutions. And remember, you're using MEDDIC, right? You're finding it, you're diagnosing it, you're putting it all together, and boom, AdCellerant is going to be able to help you streamline all of that from A to Z, done and done. All right, we're wrapping up. Wrapping up resources, Q&A. This is just a lot of kind of reminders, right? As we kind of close out this webinar. Metrics, obviously, we have talked about this ad nauseum, but incredibly important. What matters to them, right? How are they judging success on the campaign? Economic buyer, you need to know this, period. Done. Know it. Now I'm getting stern. Need to know it. Decision criteria, how are they evaluating, how are they working with all this information? And then what is most important to them? Remember those 3 pillars that I mentioned? That's what I ask prospects. Tell me your 3 core pillars that you need to have in place for the right partner. Boom. Decision process. What's the timeline? Who else has to look at this? Do we need to get finance involved? Oh, Lord, God help us. Do we have to get ad operations involved? Potentially. Do we need to get compliance involved? Potentially.
Or my attorney.
Ooh,
Gotta
no, let's minimize the attorneys, right? But we know that these things, this is possible. You need to understand that decision-making process because you want to have the most accurate pipeline because your manager will smile, give you high fives, and be so happy to know that the forecast you're putting in your pipeline, they can trust and believe in because you've asked these questions. The pain, we don't want to feel any more pain, but we need to know what it is. Really passionate right now. I don't know why. Super important to know what exactly is making them. Ben always asks prospects this, what keeps you up at night? What is stressing you out right now from a business standpoint? Obviously, there's enough in the world, but from a business standpoint, what is stressing you out? Because that's a perfect way for you to be able to diagnose it and bring them those solutions. And guess what? AdCellerant is here entirely to help you through that entire process. Wrap it up with that champion. You need them. You need to know them. You need to love them because they will love you and continue to love you, continue to share all the good stuff, the good news internally after the sale. And they will be your best friends for referrals to help you continue to grow your pipeline and win business. That champion is going to be your personal champion for your business and for your organization. So make sure you know who that is. And yet you give them some TLC. You buy them a coffee. You take them out to lunch. You build that rapport and you keep on doing it again and again. Last resources. I mean, this is just I mean, we all are doing this anyway, right? Pipeline reviews, coaching calls, training hubs, certifications, access to strategy teams, hands-on support. This is all what AdCellerant does. We know your days are filled, 24/7 with what you need to do for your business. And some of this can be a little overwhelming, going, well, gosh, how am I going to find time or find the right people to help me do this part of the job that I need to do? That's where we come in. That's absolutely where we come in to take on that. Ben likes to say it's real technical. We call it hand holding. That we're gonna really lock arms and help you from a business standpoint, help you achieve what you need to achieve for your business, in your marketplace, for your advertisers,
For you.
for you.
Help me help you, help you, help you.
Yeah, we have you.
This was wonderful. Elizabeth, you are my champion. I appreciate you. Everybody else,
Right back at
thank you
you.
so much for joining us. I have got to get in here and see who has followed AdCellerant on LinkedIn.
Yeah, let's announce that. Yeah, who's going to get a $20, what was it, an Amazon gift card?
Yep. Elizabeth, pick a number between 1 and 10.
9.
Allison.
Allison.
Allison out of Redlands, California, coming your way. I will shoot you a note. We'll get you a little $20 Amazon gift card. Those of you who were not able to like us on LinkedIn, go ahead and do it now and have some fun with it. We would be open to any questions right now if you have any. We'll give it a few more moments, but you're also welcome to shoot us a note directly, and we'd be more than happy to address anything that you might have. Again, get excited. It's summertime. We got USA's birthday tomorrow. We love our, foreign friends, obviously. Love you, Todd. But
Canada Day is coming up July 1st, I think.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, Canada. I don't know the rest of the words.
All right,
Just,
look, see, Ben, people are popping off now. They're like, no, I gotta go.
yeah, these guys, he's like, they gotta cut it now. Pull me off the stage. Thanks, everybody. Have a great summer holiday and happy selling.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.